Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment the world has been waiting for. Let's get this party started! The Ring of Fire.
I'm destined to cement my legacy as the #1 fighter of this era. And to do that, I've got to beat this little man.
You have two unpredictable personalities.
I'm gonna bust him. Sausage, ugly little man, rabbit.
You have the giant in Tyson Fury.
He's something that the heavyweight division has never seen before.
He is the Gypsy King.
Oleksandr Usyk.
He's a wizard. He's a master. He's a genius.
Oleksandr Usyk, mate, is the best fighter I've ever faced.
It's massive for the sport of boxing. It's a chess match.
Two unpredictable styles, fireworks.
It's been 25 years since the last Undisputed champion. It's about time to hand over the belt.
Oleksandr Usyk's a bad mother. Only person standing in front of him now is me. Then he will have battered his way through Great Britain. And we can't be having that.
This fight will definitely be one that goes down in the history books.
One of the biggest fights in the last century.
Let's go, my brother, let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
We haven't had a fight in the heavyweight division for the Undisputed title in I don't know how many years. This fight is just, we haven't won this fight forever.
We have been waiting 25 years for an undisputed heavyweight championship fight. We have one live on DAZN. Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk, somebody's O has got to go, and all 4 belts are on the line.
Conference for Ring of Fire, Fury versus Usyk, undisputed in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
I'm excited for sure, yeah. It's the type of fight that gets me juices flowing. Time is near. I've always aimed for the stars or nothing. When I came into this world, August 1988, I died 3 times, and my dad said he's going to grow up to be nearly 7 feet tall and weigh 20 stone, and he's going to be heavyweight champion of the world, and I'm going to name him Tyson. And everyone laughed. Here I am.
It's so complicated in boxing just to make unification fights. Getting guys on board financially, logistically, all the little things that have screwed up fights in the past. It's a surprise sometimes when you get big unification fights. It's a reason to applaud when you get a huge undisputed fight.
It's massive. It's what this division needs. It's the marquee division in world boxing. It always has been, always will be. And this is history we're talking about.
Way back in the late 19th century, in the early days of the organised heavyweight championship with gloves on, the champion was known as the strongest man on earth, the hardest man on earth, and all the way through to the great names who've held an undisputed title. Joe Louis, Rocky Marciano, Muhammad Ali. All of these men, in their different ways, with their different styles, have added to the aura and the luster of the heavyweight championship. And if you imagine that we're talking now about the best part of a quarter of a century since the last undisputed heavyweight champion walked the earth.
Throughout my career, Undisputed Champ was my goal. I was inspired by the heavyweights. I was inspired by Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, Joe Frazier, and that was my aim to, to get to that point where I held all the crowns, all the belts.
I was a young guy when Evander Holyfield fought Lennox Lewis for the Undisputed Championship, but I remember the magnitude of that moment. You had 2 guys at the top of their game slugging it out in the most important weight class in boxing.
I'd been in New York for the first fight between Holyfield and Lewis, and that finished in a draw, very controversially. Virtually everybody at ringside, everybody watching on television, felt that Lennox Lewis had done enough to win.
I'm like, draw? How could it be a draw? My mom always brought me up saying, you know, nothing comes easy, you gotta work for it. So I just said to myself, okay, if they want me to do it again, let me do it again. That moment is the moment I've always been waiting for, I've been working for. It's proving that you're the best in that era. You're the one, you're the only one. You've conquered all your opponents.
Now we've got two men marching towards the ring, hoping to add their names to that illustrious list.
You have the giant in Tyson Fury, 6'9", nearly 20 stone, against the skilled operator in Oleksandr Usyk. You have two unpredictable personalities, two unpredictable styles. Fireworks.
He's a champion, I'm a champion, and I believe we're both destined to be here. I'm destined to cement my legacy as the #1 fighter of this era.
You are now in the presence of the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury.
Good shot from Tyson Fury.
That's a constant bag of tricks. Oh, big right hand, unbelievable scene.
The WBC Heavyweight World Champion, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury.
If you'd have talked to me around 2016, 2017 and asked me what Tyson Fury would be doing in 2024, I would say he'd be on the book signing tour or he'd be glad-handing people at a casino, not fighting for the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship of the world. But that's a testament just to who he is, to be able to rise literally from the ashes and perhaps become the first Undisputed Champion we've seen in the year 2000s. It's a great thing.
You could probably count on one hand the number of people that thought Tyson Fury had a shot when he went into that fight against Vladimir Klitschko.
What do you think is the best Tyson Fury that you've ever seen?
Probably the one against Klitschko when I was 27. Everything for me is about diet. Before Klitschko fight, I lost 6 stone, 10 pound in 8 weeks. So imagine how easy it would have been if I didn't have to lose just under 7 stone.
That win against Klitschko doesn't really get mentioned enough, but when we look down the history of British boxers away from home, that certainly has to be up there with the best. After Klitschko win, where everything should have been rosy for Tyson Fury, obviously he went a bad turn.
And I think the biggest problem for Tyson Fury is that when he came back to England, he didn't get the love that he probably thought he was going to get. No big announcement, nothing. And I guess you will fall into a depression, right?
After going through what he went through with the drugs and alcohol and putting on all the weight, no one believed he'll come back.
It was very frightening to see how big he got weight-wise and the things he was doing. It was, of course you had your doubts.
I met Tyson Fury in Monaco to sign him about, I don't know, 5 years ago, and he was 25, 26 stone. He was sweating, and I thought to myself, you will never get back to elite level in the heavyweight division.
Frank Warren took a leap of faith. The way he turned himself around is quite, well, just astounding.
I could see in his eyes that he wanted it, and I thought if I can get him the opportunities, I believe he could win the world title. I genuinely believe that.
I think Tyson Fury's comeback is one of the greatest comeback stories in sports history. Not just because he came back from the depths of depression, near suicide when he came back in 2016, but the idea that he could become the heavyweight champion of the world was as far-fetched as it got. But Tyson Fury believed in Tyson Fury, and he believed that even a couple of fights in, 2 low-level fights in after his first comeback, he believed he was ready for Deontay Wilder, who at that time was the boogeyman in the heavyweight division.
Everybody around him said no, but we went for it. A guy who was 6 years undefeated, heavyweight champion world, and statistically the hardest punching heavyweight, certainly in my time in boxing.
That whole fight in itself, you know, that 12th round is a magical moment in world boxing history because he gets dropped, he's out on his feet, he's out, he's cold. And call it an act of God, he got up.
Looked like something in WWE, the Undertaker, he sits up, gets back to his feet. You know, the referee gave him the benefit of the doubt, thank God.
And not only did he survive the round, he went on to dominate the round. I was there, he was finished. He showed he was back.
He got a draw, but it set up the rematch, and Tyson Fury well and truly showed in the rematch that he is significantly better than Deontay Wilder, as he went out there and he did exactly what he said he was going to do in walking across the ring and just putting it on Wilder.
He obliterated a man at his own game.
And the new WBC heavyweight champion of the world, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury!
My ambition from lacing a pair of gloves up at a little kid was to be heavyweight champion of the world. I've just fulfilled prophecies, that's all I've ever done.
That third fight was the best heavyweight fight I've ever attended. The courage shown by both the boxers, it takes two fighters to make a great fight. It was a brilliant fight.
It was, for me, ironically, Fury's worst performance.
In the third fight, I think he was spending a lot of time with his daughter who was in hospital. So he didn't have the best camp, but he showed that even without the best camp, you can still go in there and take care of business.
I recognize Tyson Fury as the #1 heavyweight in the world. When Deontay came over to England and shouting, hey, you know, fight me, I'm the best heavyweight in the world, Tyson Fury answered the call, and that was big for me.
Since that Deontay Wilder fight, I don't know what we have in Tyson Fury, because it was great to knock out Dillian Whyte, but Dillian Whyte not in his prime at that point. It was great to get a win over Derek Chisora, but Derek Chisora was well past his prime at that point. And look, let's be honest, for Tyson Fury, the Ngannou fight was the closest thing to a catastrophe that it could have been without a loss. He came out of it looking like he was washed up. He was heavy, he was slow, he got knocked down by an MMA fighter.
Tyson Fury looked so bad in the Ngannou fight that it made him wake up and say, you know, hey, I gotta get serious.
That definitely wasn't in the script. Francis is a hell of a fighter, strong, big puncher, and a lot better boxer than we all thought he would ever be.
If you're Tyson Fury, getting back to your old self, if you can, is gonna be the key to winning this fight. He has got to be the guy we saw in those fights against Deontay Wilder.
The important thing for the individual is knowing they did everything in their power to have victory. Just me and Usyk going one-on-one against each other for whoever the best man is in the world wins. That's exciting to me.
You know what's coming, you're getting smashed to pieces, sausage. You're fighting the best British heavyweight there's ever been. You beat all the rest of them, but you ain't beat Tyson Fury yet, sausage. When you sleep at night, ugly man, you gotta think of me for the next 8 weeks, because I'm gonna punch your face in.
Thank you so much, everybody, people. I more speak in the ring.
Oleksandr Usyk. Make some noise!
That's just sublime stuff there from Usyk. Oh, the shot. Usyk just leans into that left hook. You know, we're just a master technician here, aren't you? Booming hooks from Oleksandr Usyk. The foot movement to get him into position. And that's the biggest of the lot from Oleksandr Usyk.
Amateur pedigree is huge. When you're going to talking of the likes of Oleksandr Usyk, it's massive. This guy's had, what, 250, 300 fights, and you have to understand that 210 of them are elite level fights against the best that every other country's got.
I remember a lot of my amateur fight. Olympic Games, World Champion, European Champion, local Ukrainian competition. It's a big experience. When I was first Olympic Games, it's Beijing. I lost second fight, Italian guy, Clemente Russo. Second Olympic Games, I'm changed my life. It's training, family, training, rest, family. Next Olympic Games, I win. I say, yes, it's great rematch. I remember when my father called me, say, congratulations, son, I love you. I say, yes. It's big motivation for me when my father tells me, I love you. It was hard because it's man who tell me, son, you can. It's hard. Now too hard. I remember my father. I pray every day for God. I say, please help my father. He every time close.
The experience he has as an amateur stands him in great stead. So when he wins the world title in his 10th fight, it didn't surprise me at all. Krzysztof Glowacki is the perfect opponent for someone like Oleksandr Usyk. He's a pressure fighter, he comes forward, he walks into everything you've got. Oleksandr was always going to beat him and looked really good beating him as well. It was only a matter of time, in my opinion, until he unified all the belts.
He gets all 4 belts in the cruiserweight division, and what does he do? He goes over to the UK and challenges Tony Bellew in his backyard.
Do I think I could beat him? Absolutely. But thinking you're going to knock someone out and actually doing it are 2 different things.
I thought Tony Bellew boxed very well, but he was working very hard to win those early rounds.
Yeah, I got tired, and I got tired because he made me tired. So I give him all the credit in the world. Oleksandr Usyk, mate, is the best fight I ever faced.
The move to heavyweight is something that's not easy. Very few cruiserweights have gone on to win world championships or dominate the heavyweight division. Oleksandr has a big size disadvantage, and he has to use his incredible skill and IQ to supplement that.
As soon as he goes to the heavyweight division, he basically picks fighters who are going to put it on him and where he can soak stuff up and let him sit on the ropes.
The game plan for Derek Chisora going into the Usyk fight was to do exactly what he did, was to press the action. It was about Derek Chisora sort of crossed up and getting into range and roughing up Usyk, and he's probably done the best of any heavyweight who's fought Usyk so far, including Anthony Joshua in those 24 rounds that he's fought with him.
I was lucky enough to commentate that night, and I was just in awe of the ring craft of the man. The footwork was exceptional. The way he skipped side to side, he was creating angles. Someone as well schooled as Anthony Joshua, an Olympic gold medalist, had no answers.
I thought Anthony Joshua would have been just too big, too strong, would have walked him down. But somehow Usyk was able to present a boxing match to Anthony Joshua that he was able to control.
AJ was absolutely exhausted at the end of that first fight, and I mean so tired he could barely walk.
And new heavyweight champion of the world, Oleksandr Usyk.
That was the fight where I thought, I don't know if I'm going to see Usyk get beat.
I must give AJ all the credit in the world. He was really good in the rematch. But once again, it's the pressure that Oleksandr Usyk puts on you.
Usyk comes alive. Look at the way he's changing level here, Usyk. This Ukrainian master, this sublime technician.
I thought Joshua would rally and win the second fight. He didn't. Every time I think somebody's going to get the best of Oleksandr Usyk, they don't. And not only do they not beat him, Usyk wins these fights clean.
Certainly there are those who felt that Usyk should have made a better job of his performance against Daniel Dubois.
Dubois hit the protector. Now, some referees will say that's good on the protector, but the general basis is the protector is out of bounds.
Did he milk it? Yes, he was hurt. I've absolutely no doubt about it, he was hurt. But it is a low blow. Letter of the law, it's below the belt line. That is a low blow.
That's obviously going to be a big part of Tyson Fury's game plan, attack Usyk's body. But ultimately, as a professional, no one's put him down with a body shot.
Usyk can pose with those belts and wonder what's next for him. Challenge potentially of Tyson Fury. Would that be too much for him? Would anything be too much for Oleksandr Usyk?
A potential victory to become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world will do wonders for the country and for the future of Ukrainian boxing.
I've seen many people like him before, and when they fight the big men, they struggle. And he's going to struggle on February 17th, and he will lose. I will break him, for sure.
Breaking news, the highly anticipated heavyweight unification bout between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk, scheduled for February 17th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, unfortunately postponed due to a cut suffered in training on the top of the right eye of one Tyson Fury.
At the time, I was like, oh, I'm gutted now, and I felt down about it, you know what I mean? I didn't get to do the fight what I trained all the way through Christmas and New Year for and sacrificed a lot. However, quickly afterwards, I was thinking, you know what, everything happens for a reason, and I believe that God has his timing on everything, and then wasn't the time, now is the time.
In professional boxing, sometimes you push it hard in sparring because you want that extra edge, and it just goes over the line. It went over the line with him getting that shot. It looked like a half an elbow. I saw a bit of footage of it. It looked like, I'm not sure if it was a punch or an elbow, but hit him in the wrong place, and he's got a cut.
It was a freak accident, you know, getting the cut, and it was, I think everyone was in disbelief that it happened on the last sparring session.
Friday, it's day of sparring. After sparring, I go to back. Yuri and Sergey told me, listen, we have problem. Not we have problem. Our boxing world have problem because Tyson they cut. I say, smile and okay, I go to work.
Straight away you start thinking, will the fight ever get made? Is it destined to not happen? And that's worrying as a fan, but it was quickly rescheduled.
His Excellency's had enough, right? Turki Al-Sheikh has said, okay, 1 second, if either of you guys pull out, you're paying a $10 million fine to the other one. We've seen postponements before, we've seen cuts before, we've seen delays before. Ultimately, once these fighters get in the ring May 18th, you're gonna forget all about it.
It's Mini Fury.
This guy in Usyk is a tremendous fighter, and a lot of people making him pound for pound #1 or the best heavyweight in the world. But with Tyson, I believe he's the best heavyweight of his generation. And when he gets in the ring, he's got so much grace, he can switch hit, he can do everything.
How would you describe his boxing style?
I have no idea.
It's just natural gifted talent. You can't learn what I do, it's not teachable. You've either got it or you haven't.
Tyson Fury's style in one word, unorthodox. He's something that the heavyweight division has never seen before. The size of the man, the way that he could move for such a big guy.
Knowing that I'm the big man, I'm gonna box big. You know, I'm not gonna box small to the small man, I'm gonna box big. Anytime they duck below my jab, just make sure I feed them with some uppercuts and, you know, always push them back.
With Tyson Fury, we saw the evolution where he was a boxer puncher, but he was more boxer. You know, he was very fluid on his feet. He did a lot of foot feints, a lot of head feints. In this latter part of Tyson Fury, when he switched over to Sugar Hill, you know, I think he became a little bit more of an offensive fighter. Instead of being on the back foot boxing, you know, behind the jab, he wanted to land that big right hand. He relies on rough tactics, some say dirty tactics. I just call him being a veteran, like punching in the clinch and punch on the inside, move your man back. And if the referee allows him to do that in the middle round, I can see Tyson Fury getting getting very physical and not letting Usyk use all his advantages as far as boxing and being lethal from that southpaw stance.
Usyk is a serious guy. At one time, I said he was the bunny rabbit, you know, because he bounces around the ring and, you know, he can get you. Now, he's turned into the wolf, and he only knows about winning. He doesn't know about losing.
He's an astronaut, a pilot, a scientist, a professor. When it comes to boxing, he's all of the above.
He manipulates the distance with his front foot, and he does that so easily. It's like, it's so easy to him because it's natural. He's been doing it his whole career, and it doesn't tire him to do it, but it exhausts the man in front of you.
He's gonna have to be punching up at a target in Tyson Fury, who's 6'9". I mean, there's gonna be 7 inches in height, 6 inches in reach. It's gonna be very difficult to break that range for a shorter fighter, no matter how brilliant you are on your feet.
Size does matter. Usyk will have to use his defense, his offense, and his brute strength in order to keep Tyson Fury off of him in order to be undisputed heavyweight world champion.
I understand what a big 18-stone man pressing you is like, particularly moving up, because I was the cruiserweight champion also. If anyone could beat the likes of Tyson Fury, it's someone who knows how to control the range, control the distance, and is a southpaw.
I think we're going to see some brilliance from both. I think we'll see Usyk skipping side to side, throwing the right, throwing the left. I think we're going to see Tyson Fury loading up with big shots, targeting the body. I think we're going to see some high-level chess. What a fight it is. One of the biggest fights in the last century. Room for a treat.
You asked him to send a little message to you. Polite, as you know Oleksandr Usyk is.
Hey, my friend, don't be afraid. I will not leave you alone.
What does that even mean? Don't be afraid, I won't leave you alone.
This is the heavyweight division. You're going to have your first undisputed and unified champion since the great Lennox Lewis.
This is a great fight. They're both undefeated fighters. The winner of this will be the best heavyweight of this century, the best heavyweight on the planet.
Tyson Fury's story, I feel like there's more chapters to be written. What he's been through, the ups and downs, to where he is now, it's an incredible story.
Love him, hate him, like what he says, hate what he says. What he has done to bring himself back from the depths that he was in is remarkable, and it's a real inspirational story, and to go and capture the Undisputed Championship would be the icing on the cake.
If Usyk wins the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship, that puts him in like world-breaking history. And for Usyk to do it at cruiserweight and now to do it at heavyweight, it would definitely make him one of the pound-for-pound greats.
Oleksandr Usyk's a bad mother. Only person standing in front of him now is me. And then he will have battered his way through Great Britain. We can't be having that. We cannot be having that.
It's a pick'em fight. You are going to be watching with absolutely no idea how this fight plays out. That's the best thing about boxing. Not the predictable fights, the unpredictable ones. It's going to be very special.
Live on DAZN worldwide May 18th. The fight of the century. Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk for the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship of the world. Tyson Fury looks to reign as king of the division. But Oleksandr Usyk is undefeated and coming for the crown. For the first time in over 20 years, all the belts are on the line. Ring of Fire, live on DAZN worldwide, May 18th. Buy now at DAZN.com.